Hi guys, Lord here. I am starting a new Skyrim lore series known as Cities of Skyrim. This is a series where I cover all the cities in Skyrim and talk about them, and I am starting with the most well-known one, Whiterun. This is of course the most well-known one because it's most likely the first one you go to. So basically this is, I think, is a good city where I can show you the layout of these types of videos. To start, let's go through the city to see what we have. First we have the War Maidens, which is a blacksmith, which isn't open yet for some reason, even though I waited for an hour after opening times. And she doesn't seem to have anything for sale.
All I ask is a fair chance.
Yeah, good to know.
I met my father. He was the steward
Okay.
up at Dragon's Reach when Balgruuf was starved.
Okay, still not unlocked. I'll wait another hour. Mate! Oh. Okay, let's try.
Got some good pieces out here if you
Let's
take a look.
This is where Olaf Battleborn tends to go, and this is also where you can hire the mercenary. I'll just show you that you can hire her. I'm not gonna hire her though, because I don't need her services.
Well, we've got some. Take a look. Good doing business with you.
Have you met my... Take a look.
Ah, hello. What are you hunting? Never mind. I don't want to know. Yes, I hear that question often. My brother Honorius and I came up with it one night after consuming rather too much mead. After our drinks, we went out for a moonlight hunt. We got separated, and in his drunken state, my brother mistook me for a deer. He shot an arrow that pierced my, well, rump. After such a memorable adventure, we knew we had the name for our shop. Thank you very much for your business.
I hope the Empire is sending reinforcements to drive these heathens out of Whiterun.
Blade and shadow, silence and death. I know nothing of fear, and nothing of remorse.
There's also the guard barracks. Not much to say about that. There's Breeze Home, which is the house you can buy if you buy the house, but I'm saving up for a different house. This is just her house, which I won't go into because that's breaking in. I'll give you a septum.
Oh, thank you. Divines bless your kind heart.
Here's another residential house. Can't remember whose this is. I can't go in because it was damaged, but I wouldn't go in anyway. So this is the marketplace, and here is the Belethor's general goods.
Got something for just about everybody in here. Give a holler
like
if you
you'd
have any
expect,
questions.
it's just a general store
Imperials,
where you can
Stormcloaks,
buy
I don't
pretty
care
much
who's in charge
a
around
bit of
here.
everything.
I just want to make money. Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that.
As so.
Do come back.
Okay. Okay, and I forgot to lay out the market. So this is a jewelry shop. This is a meat shop, and this is a fruit and vegetable shop. And it also seems to sell cheese. And here is the banded mare.
Come on in. Let me know if you need it.
So this is obviously the town
You look like
bar,
someone who can hold their
the town
liquor.
tavern.
How about a friendly contest to win a staff?
Not interested.
If it's work you need, let's say
So, since it's a tavern, you can just buy food and ale.
need anything else, just let me know.
And there's also her, where you can, woman before, whose name I forgot, you can brawl with her for 100 gold. As like a lot of people, you can bet, and if you win, she can also become a follower.
No fun getting pushed around all the time.
There's this ain't religious tree, forgot what it's called. Let's ask the priest about it.
Shame, isn't it? This is the Gildergreen. It was planted as a seedling in the early years of Whiterun. Disciples of Kinnereth could sense something holy in it, and traveled far to hear the winds of the goddess in its branches. They built the temple. Of course, not as many pilgrims these days.
All we needed to know for now.
Grace of Kinnereth be with
So, speaking of Kinnereth, behind the tree is the Temple of Kinnereth, which is a temple of Kinnereth and doubles as a hospital for this wounded soldier and this sick farmer. And every now and then you can see priests trying to heal them, however there don't seem to be priests in today. Here you can see Heimskar
The seers?
worshipping and preaching about Talos.
The future of Skyrim! The future of Tamriel!
I'll just get me blessing from Talos. There is York's Vac. Blah! York's Vac. The companions made house. The companion's house. And up here is the forge, the special. I'm supposed to be the absolute ruler of law, and I can't remember the names of these places. Skyforge, that's the name of the forge. But now, let's go to the place you were probably wondering most about. So, at the top of the hill or in the city, at the Sky District, that's at the Cloud District, is the Jarl's Hall, Dragon's Reach, and at the start Jarl Balgruuf would be the Jarl. However, since this is now a Stormcloak city, Jarl Vigna replaced him, and she replaced the steward, whose names I forget. However, the court wizard is still the same guy.
Come to Dragon.
So, just outside the city, we have the Whiterun stables, just outside of Whiterun, and of course, this is just where you buy a horse, and also where you can hire the carriage to go to places. And just south of that is Pelagia Farm. Can I even pronounce? Anyway, Pelagia Farm, and yeah, of course there are a lot of farms. I won't show all the farms because they're pretty much the same thing. The other farms are to the right side of the city, however they're just the same thing. I will show you the Hunting Brew Meadery, but before I do that I will show you a location that is no longer marked, which is the Stormcloak military camp, which is related to the Civil War in Whiterun, which we will get to in a minute. Sorry, I have a sore throat. Here's another Stormcloak soldier. And it's not marked now because I guess it doesn't need to be. But just right to that is the Honningbrew Meadery, which is, of course, where the Honningbrew mead is made, and where the best mead is made, because that drink would surpass anything, especially Blackbriar mead. Disgusting. So, let's go and buy some Honningbrew mead.
Honningbrew uses only the finest. Take a look.
So you can buy food and, of course, Honningbrew mead. It's 50 gold. So if you bought all of it, it would be 1,000 gold. Let's just buy one bottle. Again, I'd rather pay that than drink Blackbriar mead. Like, man, that. These are just the working guys. So yeah, I don't think they want me to be in here, so let's go. So let's cover the 2 villages in Whiterun. I know that there are more locations than just 2 villages. However, I don't want to cover the dungeons and stuff because that would take too long.
There was a dragon held captive in Whiterun, and you
Yes.
released it?
Yes, indeed.
By the gods, man, why?
So anyway, Riverwood is, well, it's most likely the first village you'd go to after leaving Helgen, and it has pretty much what you need: blacksmith, an inn, dead cultists because of a DLC that I will not talk about yet, and an inn. So yeah, now in Rorikstead is the next village. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Oh, and also, after you beat the game, there's a named dragon that shows up at Rorikstead. So let's just quickly deal with him. I'm waiting him to fly so that I can use Dragon Rend. Where are you going? Well, what an absolute pussy. Please don't demonetize me. Well, anyway. So, pretty much, anyway, in the village in Rorikstead, there's not that much of interest. Most of the places are just farms and residential buildings. The only building that isn't is the tavern in the village. Yeah, so most of them are just residential. So the only interest is this tavern, which is called the Frostfruit Inn. So that's pretty much the only interest. Yeah. So both the Imperials and the Stormcloaks would definitely want Whiterun on their side because it's in the center of Skyrim, which means both that a lot of trade goes through, making it very valuable, and it would be easier to coordinate attacks because it's in the center, because then you can send attacks to any direction on the front. And also, because the city has a very good defense layout, just after the stables, you have one gate, which you have to fight through, which has like barricades when the Siege of Whiterun comes. And then you have to go up this path that leads to the second gate, which this time has a drawbridge, which can only be opened if you go up to the narrow path to the left, which is usually very well guarded with archers. I think the only flaw with this defense is that there is a pathway. However, of course, they had to make it possible for the player to open it if he was a Stormcloak player like I am. And then after that you need to go through the gate of the actual city, the third gate. This doesn't really have defenses. However, once you get in there, you have to take the first district, and then you have to try and break through one of the 2 choke points of the second district. I think the problem with that is that there's 2 choke points. I think there should only be 1, and the reason I think that is because if you only have 1 choke point, then you can concentrate all your defenses on that 1 choke point. When you have 2 or more, then you have to split it up evenly, and of course the attacker would know that, so they could focus all their attack on 1, knowing that they just overwhelm that 1 and then flank the other defending force. But alas, if the Stormcloaks break through that 1, then they have to take that district, which wouldn't be that hard, but what would be hard is fighting up to the city. No, not the city. I mean the Dragon's Reach. They'd have to go up this pathway, and because it's going uphill, then the archers and the defenders would have the high ground, which would be good for archers. And then after they fight that, they of course have to clear all the guards in Dragon's Reach. So what side is the city on? Well, I kind of spoiled it before. It starts off as a neutral city. However, if you get to like the 3rd mission in the Civil War quest line for either side, then he picks the side that is the Imperials because he feels like they're just more likely to win. And then after that, if you're either an Imperial, then Balgruuf sends you to deliver an axe to Ulfric. But if you're a Stormcloak, then vice versa, Ulfric sends an axe to Balgruuf. Did I say that right? Ulfric sends an axe to Balgruuf if you're a Stormcloak, vice versa if you're an Imperial. I just have the feeling I said that wrong. But anyway, in Nord tradition, when a lord gives another lord his axe, he's basically asking, "We good, man? Or you want to fight?" If the lord that is receiving the axe keeps it, that means that the 2 kingdoms or holds are at peace and there's no fighting. But if the lord receiving the axe gives it back, that means he declares war. And no matter what side you're on, it's always the same outcome. The Jarl gives back the axe. And then of course, after that, you either fight there's a Battle of Whiterun mission, where if you're on the Imperial side, you're defending the city from the Stormcloaks. You basically have to stop them from opening the drawbridge. I mean, the Civil War works is that either way you win anyway, unless you download the Civil War Overhaul mod, but I don't have that, and I'll be honest, I don't really want it, because I'd prefer to be certain that I win. But anyway, if you're Stormcloaks, then you obviously have to help break through the gate and help get to Dragon's Reach, and make Balgruuf surrender, which he does, and then, like all Imperial Jarls after their city's been captured, he goes to the Blue Palace. This is the part where I tell what the specific city is most well known. What Whiterun is most known for is having the most amount of really annoying NPCs, and here's a list of all of them. There's Braith, that girl bully.
Give a holler.
Bellathor, who's always just sarcastic and smarmy about everything. Sardia, who sometimes randomly offers you something on the menu, and then after that asks you to stop asking the questions. And of course, the classic Nazim.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
So that's today's lore video. Hope you found it interesting. Leave a like and subscribe if you did. I make videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I will see you in 2 days. Bye.